Hello, welcome back to Bookshelf Tour, where I think I'm reaching the end of my Robert Crumb collection. There might be some other bits and pieces that we'll find other places in my library, but this is probably as much as Robert Crumb as you'll get from me, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Start off with a couple of just collections which are probably in his complete Crumb, which are My Trouble with Women. You know, him saying, "Oh, I'm just helpless before all these women that he loves to draw in the ways that satisfy his desires and take out his angers on my troubles with women, or women's troubles with him." And R. Crumb's America, which is sort of more his pointed protests against America, which, interestingly enough, one of the things that I flipped through is like, hey, that is a familiar figure in there. He's got his recurring feature called Point the Finger, which it's like, okay, we've had our fun, wallowed in perversity. Now it's time to shake our fists at the injustice of the system. Time to vent our rage at the rich and powerful who force all of us to live in this polluted concrete jungle. Time for our serious political protest feature, Point the Finger, where he's going to go talk to one of the most evil men alive, real estate tycoon Donald Trump, because back in 1989, Donald Trump was just only an evil media real estate tycoon and not president of the United States. And indeed, in this section, he berates him, takes him apart, and in the end is old Donald gets a swirly from the women that Robert Crumb has sent after him. Of course, because it is Robert Crumb, the issue ends with Robert Crumb having sex with the women because he's a complete pervert. But he's a complete pervert who really hated Donald Trump. But then again, perverts and not perverts alike really hated Donald Trump. That might even be Donald Trump's face on the front there of America. So yeah, those are two collections. The next thing I have are R. Crumb's sketchbooks, which are, I think as I said in an earlier video, Robert Crumb, when getting interviewed in the documentary Crumb, was just obsessively always doing sketches in his many sketchbooks. So this one is from fall 1970 to 1972, where it's one of those things where you get the people in his life. His first wife, Dana, asleep on the couch, or at least reclining on the couch. Get him kind of the anxieties. That's definitely him responding to popular music. But also just sort of like you get the sense of that's the anxiety of someone like Robert Crumb. What's it like inside of his head? Yes, and yeah, there's the pictures from the cover again of like there's his joyful little cartoon characters and cute, but underneath the mask there's that, which that sort of sums up Robert Crumb. You also get the whole thing of, we now jump from volume 9, 1972 to 1975, and instead of Dana Crumb, Eileen shows up, who is his second wife, and you get lots of pictures of her, as well as little imp characters balancing on muscular women's legs, because that's Robert Crumb. And 1975 to 1977, which I think is the only other one I have. I've just picked these up. I'm pretty sure secondhand. Crumb has kind of both a horror and a fascination with the animalistic. So you have the Sasquatch woman that shows up in a lot of his comics, which also shows up in his sketchbooks. But he also just does multiple faces, little studies, little caricatures, you know, in there. I'll save that one for the very end of my thing. He's also someone who's just like, you know, just his simple things like that aren't figures. I'm really more about figures and about cartoon characters, but Crumb is someone who actually is got some, you know, graphical chops there. He can do those background bits really well too. And indeed, there's like one series of ones that I know, which is him showing like the same corner, but through the time, going from kind of country to just sort of at the very end, just kind of overrun, kind of broken down, kind of concrete jungle kind of stuff. But if I can leave you with an image from Robert Crumb, it'll probably be that one, which is a little dunce cap Robert Crumb writing multiple times on his thing, the cessation of desire, cessation of desire, cessation of desire. Because I think above all, that little Robert Crumb character, it's all about all the bubbling desire within him and how to funnel it out, how to get it out of himself, and all this obsessive scribbling seems to be, it's about desire. It's about the cessation of desire. It's about dealing with desire. And how do you deal with the desire as a human being who lives in perhaps a civilized world where you should respect those around you, but respecting those around you while also reflecting on what boils within you, what boils within some people more than others, perhaps, and maybe within us all. So yeah, I will leave it there with Robert Crumb, with that image at the end. Yeah, it's been a lot of confrontational imagery. Obviously, it's stuff that resonates for me, or else I wouldn't have so bloody much of this stuff. It's sort of one of these things, if you do a bookshelf tour and you go, oh yeah, I have a lot of that. And apparently I have a lot of it for a reason, because I still have a lot to say about it. So I'm probably not going to get rid of it anytime soon. All right, more videos later, more comics to come.